Unatira vanachari Yamunatira vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Shri Radhe. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribol. Shri Radha Madhava ki jai, Shri Pada Lakshmana Singhadev Bhagavan ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, vielen Dank, dass ihr alle gekommen seid zum Abendvortrag. So, vielleicht die erste Frage, wer versteht kein Englisch? And who doesn't understand German? Okay, so I think I speak in English. Maybe someone can translate for Mother Kishore Kund. Thank you, Björn. Achso, du kannst auch? Achso, okay, super, danke. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, translation and purpose by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and we're in the 16th chapter, verse number 8. Here. Asatyam apratishthante Jagat ahur anishwaram Aparaspara sambhutang Kim anyat kama haitukam Asatyam apratishthante Jagat ahur anishwaram Aparaspara sambhutang Kim anyat kama haitukam Asatyam apratishthante Jagat ahur anishwaram Aparaspara sambhutang Kim anyat kama haitukam. Okay, Prabhu's please. Satyam apratishthante Satyam apratishtamte Jagat ahur anishwaram Paraspara sambhutam Imanyat kama haitukam Asatyam apratishtamte Jagat ahur anishwaram Aparaspara sambhutam Kim anyat kama haitukam. Okay, mothers, please. Asatyam lapatishtankte Jagat ahur anishwaram Aparaspara sambhutam Kim anyat kama haitukam. Asatyam apratishtankte Jagat ahur anishwaram Aparaspara sambhutam Kim anyat kama haitukam. Asatyam apratishtankte Jagat ahur anishwaram Aparaspara sambhutam Kim anyat kama haitukam. Asatyam, unreal. Apratishtam, without foundation. Te, they. Jagat, the cosmic manifestation. Ahuhum, say. Anishwaram, with no controller. Aparaspara, without cause. Sambhutam, arisen. Kim anyat, there is no other cause. Kama haitukam, it is due to lust only. Translation and purports by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. They say that this world is unreal, with no foundation, no God in control. They say it is produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The demonic conclude that the world is phantasmagoria. There is no cause and effect, no controller, no purpose. Everything is unreal. They say that this cosmic manifestation arises due to chance, material actions and reactions. They do not think that the world was created by God for a certain purpose. They have their own theory, that the world has come about in its own way and that there is no reason to believe that there is a God behind it. For them there is no difference between spirit and matter, and they do not accept the supreme spirit. Everything is matter only, and the whole cosmos is supposed to be a mass of ignorance. According to them, everything is void, and whatever manifestation exists is due to our ignorance and perception. They take it for granted that all manifestation of diversity is a display of ignorance. Just as in a dream, we may create so many things which actually have no existence. So when we are awake, we shall see that everything is simply a dream. But factually, although the demons say that life is a dream, they are very expert in enjoying this dream. And so, instead of acquiring knowledge, they become more and more implicated in their dreamland. They conclude that as a child is simply the result of sexual intercourse between man and woman, this world is born without any soul. For them it is only a combination of matter that has produced the living entities, and there is no question of the existence of the soul. As many living creatures come out from perspiration and from a dead body without any cause, the whole living world has come out of the material combinations of the cosmic manifestation. Therefore, material nature is the cause of this manifestation, and there is no other cause. They do not believe in the words of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Maya dakshina prakriti soyache sa sharacharam. Under my direction, the whole material world is moving. In other words, among the demons there is no perfect knowledge of the creation of the world. Every one of them has some particular theory of his own. According to them, one interpretation of the scriptures is as good as another, for they do not believe in a standard understanding of the scriptural injunctions. Again, the verse. They say that this world is unreal, with no foundation, no God in control. They say it is produced of sex desire and has no other cause than lust. Om Agyana Timirandasya Yagnanjana Shalakaya Shakshulun Militaminatas Mashigulavina Maham Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangungla Gaiti Gurimet Kripata Maham Vande Shiguru Dinataranam Namam Vishnu Krishna 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 Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutare Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachanine Nivishesha Shunyavari Pashatare Shatanine Shri Chaitanya Manu Vishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vansha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Paritanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. First I would like to ask the blessings from all the Vaishnavis and Vaishnavas that I can speak something of value. And Srila Prabhupada talks here mostly about the materialistic people that they do not believe in God, they do not accept God at all. And also in the Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada talks about 3 different sorts of people who don't accept any spirituality. So one of those is the one who is very fearful to become a person again because he had made so many bad experiences in relationships. And this is caused by being engaged in material energy very deeply. Then fear comes out of this. But this fear is mainly based on, fully based on the bodily consciousness, because this experience, their experience was based on shame mostly, and shame is only according to the body or subtle body, and this is quite normal now in the Kali Yuga, because in the Kali Yuga, how to say in English, betray is predominant. This is the age of those who get cheated and want to be cheated. And that's why this fear of relationships, this fear of becoming a spiritual personality or the fear of God is very prominent. And then another type of materialistic person who don't accept God or the spirit soul is the one who is frustrated by material engagements. And as we know from the scriptures, this lust, this sense gratification is always burning like fire but can never be satisfied. And also Srila Prabhupada writes in this context that those people, they take shelter in intoxicants and they think their hallucination might be some spiritual experience. And I just met 2 nice gentlemen on the street lately on Sankirtan, or one nice gentleman and one not so nice gentleman. So the first one I met was, in Passau also, and this was quite in the beginning of the day. And I started approaching him, I was talking to him, and I said something like, you look friendly, or look nice, or you look happy, or something in this connection. And then he said, that can't be possible, because I'm very morose. And somehow or other, I don't know why, I had the inspiration just to ask him, do you go in jail again? And he says, yes, I go in jail. And then I said, what, again? How do you do it? Now it's my 3rd time I go in jail again. And it was quite a funny start of the conversation. But then, he started to talk about that he smokes marijuana and was also dealing with it and all this stuff. And interesting point was also that he got this all from his brother, and his brother was very much into intoxication and selling drugs. And then at one point he got the Bible or a Christian book or something in this connection, or met a God-conscious person, and then he completely changed his life. In 2 years he was away from drugs, and he was a happy man, married with kids, and very sattvic lifestyle. And he was telling me this, very inspiring. And then I was trying to give him a book, but he said, I go to jail now, I don't have any money. And I asked him, do we have something to swap at least? And he had some lighter in his pocket, and then we swapped the book against the lighter, small book. Normally it's not the best, but in this case I thought it was very nice, because this is actually a very great situation people can be in, that they are so much frustrated by material life, that and then if they get in contact with spiritual knowledge, they can really be elevated quickly. But then on the other hand, I met another man who was also looked very frustrated in his outer appearance at least. And then I asked him, also I approached him, and the two men actually, and one I talked to. And then he asked immediately, is this marijuana, is this weed? And I was like, no, this is even better. You always stay high, you never go down. And he found it quite interesting, but then he was still a little bit on defense mode. And I don't know how it continues, but we were like a little bit arguing. And then he went off, and he insulted the book somehow. He said, this is garbage, or this is nonsense, something in this direction. And then I said to him while he was going away, but with marijuana you just get dump, and then you go to hell afterwards. And then he turned again to me and said, and with this stuff you have in your hand, you don't go to hell? And then I said, yeah, I don't go to hell if I practice this sincerely. And then he was like, okay. But he didn't take a book though, but he was like, okay, yeah, I accept this, okay, yeah, you're truthful at least. And then somehow we departed both. But this is also an example of one who is frustrated by material existence clearly, but who can't accept Krishna consciousness because he's very bewildered by the illusory energy. But as I said, this can be a very nice base actually to start devotional service, because Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita there are 4 sorts of people who take to Krishna consciousness, and one of them is the one who's suffering. And for me personally, I more and more realized, at the beginning I thought I was like the one who is seeking for the absolute truth, but now that I practice more, I see I was quite in a lot of suffering, but I didn't see it at all at the beginning, but now I see I'm more this type actually. And then the third person who is not inclined to take up in any spirituality is the one who is frustrated by all the spiritual theories, who is even angry at all spirituality, at all God consciousness, at all. And this is also quite understandable nowadays, because God is depicted as a angry man who is sitting up there and punishing people in some part of Christianity, and also this sentimental spirituality nowadays. You can do whatever you like, and this is also for some people quite annoying. So all in all, it's quite understandable that those people are also completely against any type of spirituality. And there are also type of people like the Buddhists. They also don't believe in a soul. I mean, they're different Buddhists, but mostly they don't believe in a soul. But for Buddhists, it's quite difficult. They're already quite into their philosophy, and for them to change is nearly impossible. And Srila Lakshmana Singhadev Bhagavan ki jai. And Srila Prabhupada also quotes here in the purport, verse 9-10 from the Bhagavad Gita, Maya Dakshina Prakriti Suyate Sharacharam Hitunanina Kaunteya Jagat Viparivatate. It is said there, I know it in German, but the material energy, which is one of Krishna's energies, is giving life to all the moving and non-moving entities, and this material energy is always working under Krishna's control. But those materialists, they're described here, they cannot accept this. And why they cannot accept this? Because they have those lusty desires that is stated here in the verse itself. They say the world is produced of sex desire and has no other cause than lust. So this material world, as Srila Prabhupada often states, is all running on lust. And the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna also asks about this point. Why do people act sinful? Why do people act not according to the scriptures, or even they look like they are completely mind-controlled, like the people on the street, for example? And Krishna answers, Karma Esha, Krodha Esha, Rajaguna Samudbhavaham, Mahashana Mahapapma, Vidiinam Iha Vaidinam. There Krishna says it is lust alone who is produced by the touch of the material modes of nature, and which forms into anger. And this lust is Mahapapma, very sinful, and Mahashana, all devouring. And in this material world we can clearly see everything is based on this lust, and there are so many advertisements, so many nonsense stuff, which is all based on that. And the materialists, they try to make their material happiness more and more. And Srila Prabhupada also describes then by this connection between man and woman, then this material bond is even tightened by 4 different aspects. First is Shri, so beauty. Too fast. Oh yeah, please. Thank you for telling me I tend to be too fast in talking. Okay, I try to slower. Sorry. So Shri, it's beauty. So everybody wants to be beautiful, especially in the material world, to be attractive for other. Then Aishvarya, so wealth. It's only natural. If family life, you want to cultivate wealth. Then Praja, those are the children. And also Apta, so the friends and social connections. And all this might give you some kind of happiness in the beginning, but it forms more and more material attachment, and by that you're surely more bound to the material world. And this, as Srila Prabhupada also explains, is all based on Madan, on this sexual happiness which the materialists want to attain. But they don't know, we devotees know, that if you're just attracted to Krishna's beauty and try to cultivate Krishna consciousness, you will gradually lose all this attraction for the false beauty of the material world. And Srila Prabhupada often quotes Yamuna Acharya. He says that since he is tasting this nectar of devotional service, he is even spitting on a thought when some sexual thought comes up. And this stage we want to attain, because Krishna is actually Madan Mohan. He's even conquering the love God or the sexual desire. And Srila Prabhupada says we can just try to pray to Krishna that Krishna, please save me. Krishna, please let me hold on onto your lotus feet. And then the Bhagavad Gita confirms Daivi Isha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratyaya Mam Evaye Prabhatyante Mayam Etam Tarantite. This material energy, this divine energy, is very hard to overcome, but those who surrender unto me can cross over it very easily. And often this comparison is given when you take shelter of the spiritual master of Krishna, then this material existence, material ocean will be as small as little pond of water and a footprint of a calf. And later on in the Bhagavad Gita, also Krishna says to Arjuna that he should announce that his devotee will never perish. And he said this to Arjuna to announce it because Krishna sometimes breaks his word. For example, he said he won't fight at the battle of Kurukshetra, but he still attacked Bhishma. But the word of the devotee will never go in vain. And that's why Krishna later says to Arjuna, please announce if someone takes shelter of me, then he will be freed from this material existence and he will never be forgotten by me. And we are very glad that we got this special mercy of Srila Prabhupada, who really had realized this all and could see this all, and went with such a high age to the Western world to distribute his books or distribute his knowledge. And we are we are all fortunate, and I'm very fortunate that I could take shelter of a follower of Srila Prabhupada, direct follower, and by that, only by this causeless mercy, I'm able to cultivate more and more Krishna consciousness and try to get more and more free of this material entanglement. And I try to practice more and more gratefulness. It's a little difficult because living in this material world, in this Western world, I had so much and I take everything for granted. But by the mercy of the devotees, I cultivate more gratefulness and continue with devotional service. So please continue to give me your blessings that I can be of some service for the devotees and Shri Shri Pada Lakshmana Singadev. And if you have maybe any comments or questions about this, I would be glad to. Vundaganapu.
Hare Krishna, thank you for the lecture. My question is a little bit personal to you. My question is, what is helping yourself to overcome lust?
You are helping a lot.
It was not the question.
Yeah, good association, especially with more advanced Vaishnavas. And Vaishnavis is very good to overcome all material desires. Not that I overcome any yet, but I'm on the path and I see it's reducing, it's getting less. So yeah, I'm taking shelter of more advanced devotees for sure. And by this, some kind of, I don't want to sound puffed up, but I try to practice somehow sincerely and truthfully, and try to be engaged in devotional service and chanting, try to take it serious. So I think by that, Krishna is merciful and purifies more and more my heart. And yeah, but this all comes from the association of more advanced Vaishnavas, and by this the blessings come. So by myself I cannot do much. Maybe you have also something to say about this. Yeah. Maybe you have any comments or something to say. Okay. And now I started to talk fast again, right? I didn't. After a few seconds I forgot, sorry. It was okay. Any other comment or question? Björn?
Maybe you could just repeat these 3 or 4 kinds of people who don't turn to Krishna. You mentioned them, but I didn't miss them.
Srila Prabhupada writes this in one purport of the Bhagavad Gita, but I don't know where I can look it up again. But so one is the one who's fearful because he had so many bad relationships in the material world, so he doesn't want to become a personality again after life. One is the one who's angry at every sort of spiritual knowledge, also because of bad experiences. And I must admit, one I speculated a little bit because I wasn't quite sure about this one, but I'm quite positive that it's the one who's frustrated of material existence and is also completely against any sort of spirituality. But I must admit, I must look this up because I didn't have much time, or any time, so I didn't look it up. But we'll do afterwards and we'll tell you for sure what's the third one. But the one who's fearful and the one who's angry, that's very sure that Srila Prabhupada writes exactly like this. The third one, exactly. Yeah, I mean more. Bhagavad Gita also describes 7:15. Amam dushkrituna muda prabhatyanti naradama mayaya parita jnana asuram bhavam ashritaha. The 4 types of people who never surrender to Krishna is the muda, the dumb man who's working like an ass, and the lowest of the mankind, Naradama, the Mayaya Paritagyana, the one whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, so the intelligent, materialistic, intelligent people, and Asuram Bhavam Ashritaha, the one who's atheist from birth and never wants to do anything with God. So there are many different explanations and types of people who don't surrender to Krishna, but this was from one purport and this was one verse from the Bhagavad Gita, so that's what I know. Thank you. Thomas, you had some light arm up a little bit. Comment or something.
Yes, but I was not able to formulate the question properly in my mind. So I was thinking there's many people that have this mood as described in the verse. Even though they might be suffering, you talk to them and like, yes, maybe I'm suffering, but I will do this thing, and then I will be happy, and I have this my wife, and I'm enjoying so much. And yes, maybe I'm losing here something, and something is suffering there, but I will do this, and it will be fixed. Next year will be fine. How do you preach to these people?
That's might be a little difficult, because if they already think they are settled up, they know what is going on, then it's nearly impossible. If the glass is full, then you can't fill anything inside. Somehow they might need to have some bad experiences, so they get a little more humbled by the material nature, and then they might be able to accept anything else. So yeah, I mean, in preaching it's better to not waste so much time. Better with the innocent people who don't know much, who are like more blank. Maybe Munindranapur can say something about this? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. Okay. Then. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we found the verse that you were mentioning, like, is in the purport of 410.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Sanjay, who is a great scholar.
Yeah. But this is in German. I found it in... No, I have it here. So at the center point, can I read? Or you can search, one has to get rid of all...
Yeah. One has to get rid of all 3 stages of attachment, right?
Yeah.
To the material world. Negligence of spiritual life, fear of a spiritual personal identity, and the conception of void that arises from frustration in life. To get free from these 3 stages of the material concept of life, one has to take complete shelter of the Lord, guided by the bona fide spiritual master, and follow the disciplines and regulative principles of devotional service. The last stage of devotional life is called bhava, or transcendental love of Godhead. Yeah, so fear of spiritual personality, negligence of spiritual life, and conception of void. So before that, Srila Prabhupada describes those 3 people more deeply. So it's nice we can look it up together maybe. Can read it again. It's nice. Thank you, Sanjay, Prabhu, and Brian. Okay. So is anything else to say?
Maybe I have a question. So I was just reading with you, and I was seeing like fear of a spiritual personal identity, and then conception of void that arises from frustration in life. And then I was thinking, are they very much connected, or like quite similar in a sense? Or maybe you have some insights on it?
I don't have much insights, but if I think about it, they're probably all a little bit connected. Like to be frustrated of spiritual life, to have fear for material life, to neglect spiritual life. It's all connected somehow, but still a little bit different. So I would say they are connected, surely. And on the street you probably see different sorts of people who fit into different categories. Many categories, maybe. That's what I can say about it. But I also need to reread this to really, again, deeply understand what the 3 stages are. But this is what I would think about it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Kantaraj, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.